Hey gang, thanks for watching. We're about to head into the biggest draft weekend of the fantasy football year, and I know how you get. You take a bunch of early round chances, you feel queasy about it. You know, okay, cool. I drafted Devontae Adams in the first and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the second, and now I have the stress farts. Well, don't worry, I'm here for you. Today, we're going to talk about some safer players. If you've gone a little risky in the early rounds, these guys, week by week, I think, given where they're being drafted, are going to give you something pretty good every single week. Let's dig right in. I'll start out with some new teammates, a pair of Saints. I like drafting Emmanuel Sanders and or Drew Brees, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, when it comes to Sanders, I can't promise you anything. Michael Thomas is on that team. But he's getting drafted outside the top 36 wideouts, and I think that's because people look at the numbers of the other wideouts in New Orleans the past few years, the non-Michael Thomas ones, and figure that it must be a minor role. Manny Sanders, come on. No, I don't agree. Like, slot guy, possession guy, no, wrong. Sanders is 33, but he had excellent speed and quickness last year. On this play, watch Sanders get right up onto Trayvon Mullen, and, if he's even like that, and the safety sort of is playing quarters and is slow getting over, Sanders is by you, and he will make downfield plays. Watch this one, wide right, single safety high. The quarterback knows this is a deep out, so the safety's not going to wind up being involved. Sanders just needs to win one-on-one. And, this just in, that is filthy route. That is a filthy one against outside technique. The corner's actually playing outside because he does have that safety deep help, and Sanders is so precise he can beat it anyway. He's so quick off the dead run. That is a filthy move to get to the outside and make a big gain. You think 5'11", 180-pound little Sanders isn't a candidate to score touchdowns in New Orleans because Michael Thomas is there? I think that's wrong too. Sanders is a master in close quarters. Watch these plays. He's a nightmare in a phone booth with his quickness, and his feet are unbelievable. Last one of these is just a sicko catch that beat the Bears at the last second for the Broncos. Whew, that's pretty great. So, okay, I don't know volume before the season starts. And I get it. Michael Thomas is an amazing player and a first-round fantasy pick, and I'm not arguing with that. But this kind of spread in workload from 2019, this is stupid. The number two wideout on New Orleans last year averaged 3.5 targets per game. I strongly do not believe that will happen again. Sanders is going to warrant 6 targets per week, and there is absolutely enough work for him to get 6 targets per week. Obviously, I can't tell you that a receiver you're drafting in the 9th round is going to score huge every week, but I think relative to the guys being drafted around him, I think you're going to wind up eventually as we get into the season thinking he is an every week nice and easy wide receiver 3. And then just a note about the dude throwing him the ball. Brees is probably fairly being drafted. QB 7, that's where I have him, 6th or 7th round. It's a fair price, so I'm not telling you crazy value, but I am telling you I think he's safe as can be. And we all know his arm isn't strong. Maybe his arm never was, but, this one, he needed a little something more than his usual perfectly accurate shot put. Last minute of the tie game against the Panthers. That's a legit throw. He doesn't do it all the time, but he's got it in his quiver. And then I'll just remind you he can do this. This kind of drop in the bucket that nobody else does as frequently as Drew Brees. The numbers last year were crushed by his broken thumb. The Saints offense is going to be great again. Of the quarterbacks who don't run and who you can wait on for fantasy, I like Brees the best. I've wound up with him a ton in the middle rounds of drafts. I'll get to a couple of more safe players in just a moment. Let me thank today's sponsor. It's DraftKings. It's getting to be that time. I'm going to tell you 2 things about DraftKings. First of all, pretty cool. They have their golden ticket promotion. If you download the DraftKings app and sign up using promo code HarrisTube, enter DraftKings free football survivor pool, one lucky winner is going to claim a $1 million cash prize. And that's amazing. But I also want to encourage you to sign up at DraftKings because all season long, we are going to have a contest for Harris Football Podcast listeners and Harris Football YouTube viewers. Every week, I'm going to post a link right here on the channel, also on the podcast. It's exclusively for people who listen to my podcast or watch this YouTube channel. It's a $5 contest. We've been running this thing for years, just never on YouTube before. And it's hundreds of people per week. You play against me and a lot of your friends from the podcast. It's really, really fun. DraftKings doesn't take a rake. It's just $5. And a bunch of people win a little bit of money every week. It's very fun. And then also, the best part is, maybe it's the best part, is that every month, at the end of a month, the cumulative winner wins a one-on-one Skype session with me. We Skype, we talk. I love doing those. It's great. So if you don't have a DraftKings account, please go get one because I think you'll like it. Go get the app or go to DraftKings.com. Use the promo code HarrisTube. They'll get you a free contest and you can join ours. Our week 1 contest, we'll have the link out next week. It's going to be great. DraftKings, thanks for sponsoring. Go get that app. All right, so now we're going to keep going, and my next safe player I want to talk about is a highly drafted running back. It's Aaron Jones, and here's the scenario. You're picking mid-first round. All the running backs you really trust from the first, they're gone. What if maybe even Michael Thomas is gone, but you do wind up taking a Julio or Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill? I do it too, depending on which running backs have been taken, but it doesn't feel great. Now, in the second round, we're just hoping that we get a running back that we like to fall to us, middle of the second round. And when it comes to be our turn, it's happened to me. There's no Chubb, there's no Mixon, there's no Josh Jacobs. And then you have that thought. You look at the list and you go, all summer, people have been telling me Aaron Jones had an unrepeatable season, 19 touchdowns. It can't happen again. A.J. Dillon's calves look like a bag of boulders. Oh no. Can Aaron Jones really be my RB1? I'm here to tell you, yes, I am absolutely fine with that. I think despite all of the A.J. Dillon hype, I am 100% cool getting Aaron Jones in the second. I think he'll be rock solid. Maybe you think it was a whole bunch of goal line touchdowns and nothing else, and it certainly was. He had a whole lot of goal line touchdowns, and he might not get all those in the future, but please, that's not everything Aaron Jones does. He's a very elusive running back, and he has legit long speed, too. And if we get him matched up on a linebacker with no safety help, that is not fair. Aaron Rodgers will hit that every time. And you don't believe me about every time? Let's do it again. Oh no, buddy, you mean Aaron Jones only had 49 catches? That means he can't do it, right? Trust me. No, the playbook might use him more in that way. It's absolutely possible. If Dillon has a bigger role, it's possible Jones branches out more into receptions. He's real talented all around, frankly. And that's my message really about Aaron Jones. I like where he's getting drafted. It's not like I think it's a ridiculous value. It's right. But the good part about him is he just has a whole lot of ways that he can contribute. He doesn't need one kind of game flow. I think he's rock solid as a second-round fantasy pick this year. And then lastly, let's talk about Tyler Boyd, who goes in the 7th round, and maybe he's not a total thriller. There are many other receivers in the league that have maybe more week-to-week upside. There's some receivers on his team who might have more week-to-week upside than he does, but Boyd is a really nice pick for your wide receiver 3 when you've gone like Odell Beckham and Cortland Sutton at 1 and 2, right? You feel like, they got upside, but I hope, right? Boyd is actually much more of a slot guy than Emmanuel Sanders is. He's going to run 2/3 out of the slot for sure. Here he's slot right, and he gets Budda Baker on him in coverage, and that's something you get a lot when you have Boyd. You're going to get him covered by a third corner or a safety in this case, and you'll see that Boyd doesn't do anything outlandish here. It's frankly horrible defense by the free safety. But this kind of seam play, Boyd does it a lot, and you just watched Joe Burrow run this play a million times at LSU. It should be a nice fit with Boyd. He's just one of those guys who is smart and has great hands and earns his offense's trust. And yeah, AJ Green and Auden Tate and T. Higgins and John Ross, they all have things about them that Tyler Boyd doesn't have. I still think Boyd will wind up leading the Bengals in targets, and for your fantasy team, just smooth things out every single week with nice, steady production and some touchdown spikes here and there. So there you have it, a couple of mid-round receivers, mid-round quarterback, veteran, who I think is a nice play to smooth things out, and then a second-round running back who I think people think is riskier than he actually is. A fair price, frankly, probably close to a fair price for all of them, but given my roster construction, if I've gone risky other places, I have wound up with each of these four guys quite a bit. But what do you think? Let us know down in the comments. Please like, please subscribe. It would be wonderful to have you all season long, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.